Comedy Film Nerds Podcast.
Let's just jump into Mother.
Yeah, YouTube freaks saw this.
Oh my god! And you know what? Every once in a while, you see a movie and you're sorry you saw it.
Wow!
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, and
You're not even happy you get to like feel that you can like talk about it with people?
It was one of those movies that, first of all, let's lay a little backstory on this movie. Darren Aronofsky is an auteur. He makes his own movies. They pretty much come from his id, whatever he wants to make. There's no noting a Darren Aronofsky
He's like a
script.
Portlandia character.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, we get it.
Yeah. So
She's a swan, but she's a ballerina.
So when he makes a movie, you know exactly what he wanted to put in this film, made it into the film.
Yeah.
And some of the parts in this movie, I was like, why would anyone want to put that on film?
Could you imagine real quick if a studio executive were the ones that gave the notes for all the fucked up shit he puts in his movies? You know what I mean?
He's like, yeah, you really need these scenes at the end that are really going to upset and horrify people. Now, this is, when I look into the trivia, the film received both boos and a standing ovation during its premiere at the Venice Film Festival. So this movie is unbelievably polarizing.
So people are either going to walk out and say, wow, what a vision, or that guy's out of his fucking gourd.
Right.
Which is what he wants, too. Like, I think
exactly
what's
what he
happening
wants.
right now, he's like, it worked. Like,
Right.
this is
I think so,
exactly
too.
going to whatever weird plan he had.
Right. And you know, this is like, you know, his... we see these movies with every once in a while with like Tree of Life, where you have like big stars in these avant-garde, weird, you know, allegorical movies. I mean, this is basically he's doing Bible tales in this movie. Everything was allegorical to the Bible. You had like Javier Bardem was God, you know, Jennifer Lawrence was basically the Earth Mother, sort of,
and then had some sort of like Mary parallels.
There was the two guests that come in. It was so weird. The two guests that come in were Adam and Eve, and you know, Cain and Abel,
and their bad little sons.
Yeah, and so it's. But also, there's no character, there's no plot. It's all just kind of goes from scene to scene. But the imagery gets more and more disturbing to the point where at the end I was like, I wish I didn't have these images in my head at this point. I don't want to spoil anything, but it was at the end was horrifying.
There's one particular moment, and this is what is sort of like fun about this, because you know, just like Hunger Games people are going to see this. They're like, oh, Jennifer Lawrence, great, I love her. And then that foreign man, okay, cool. And then they're like, what? Because like we live in LA, we our brains, I feel like, can like handle some sort of like, that was too artistic. But like, if my parents went to see this, they would like cry blood, you know, like it's so scary. It's so bizarre. And like, there's a moment that occurs that I thankfully, when I get really afraid, I plug my ears. I plugged my ears, closed my eyes, and still like I know what happened, and it has like haunted me to my core. Like, it is very disturbing.
And I know exactly what you're talking about because I saw it.
It's
towards the end.
I went with a friend who I was opening for in Canada. We like went in Canada, and I kept going, I didn't think they'd have this movie out. Like, they're in some third world country. They got it the same day. Wow, good for them. Look at that. Look at Trudeau getting movies up here.
Yeah.
And he was like, the sound is like, there's like a sound that happens that, I can't imagine these Hunger Game fans watching this movie.
That I wouldn't want to watch the film. Because that's why I was like, I don't think I can see it. When you texted me, you're like, I saw Mother, I was like, okay, good, I'll go see it.
Yeah.
I'll go see something else. Because that's the thing is I felt like I would like to see a camera put on an audience of like Hunger Game fans watching their reaction to this going, this isn't Silver Linings Playbook.
No.
No, it is not.
No, let's get a camera in every red state and just watch these people react. Because that's going to be the movie.
I'll tell you, the trailer, you know, it's not like it misrepresented the movie. The trailer was like, this is one fucked up movie, but the trailer never shows you how fucked up it actually gets.
I got knowing Darren Aronofsky, went in the trailer when there was blood coming through the light bulb. I was like, okay.
Where's it going to go from here?
All right. If they're showing me that in the trailer, it's Aronofsky. It's weird, creepy. There's a bunch of people on the lawn with lights.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I think the trailer portrays it much more as a horror film than it ends up being.
Like the trailer was almost like like a Guillermo del Toro movie.
Yes.
Remember what was that movie? Aaron, the one that had the house.
Crazy House.
Crazy House. Crimson
House
Peak
Guest.
or something.
Peak, yeah.
Crimson yes, House.
House Party.
Crimson Peak, where the house itself was a character in the movie.
Right.
And that's what it kind of started this way, but then it goes so off the rails
It was
towards
stressful.
the end.
I was like
Yeah.
truly stressed.
I was telling Graham that.
exhausted.
It was like, I didn't enjoy the movie.
No.
Like, it was one of those movies where I'm like, I'm sorry I saw it. I just didn't, even if it's a bad movie or if it's a movie I don't, I still don't, it felt like work. It really, watching this movie felt like work, and I felt like it was a day I should have called in sick.
I thought it was beautiful, though. Like
Up till the end, it was shot very well.
it was shot really. There were like 3. They did like over her shoulder, her perspective, and then like
Yes.
one other, and that was it. And it was on 16 millimeter. Like it's obviously really artistically beautifully done. You see her nipples a few times, and you don't need it. And it's like, okay, well, we get you're dating, but like.
Yeah.
Are we like she?
Yeah, they started dating to.
She has
through
a
the
sheer
movie
shirt
shoot.
on with guests there. I don't think so. Like that really bothered. For some reason, every time I would see her nipples, I was like, why are they doing this to her?
And Paramount canceled the upcoming Friday the 13th film in order to move ahead with this film, thinking, well, this one's more disturbing.
Oh.
So I don't know.
Is Friday the 13th not coming out now?
I'm not sure. It said that was one of the.
You look
trivia
really
things.
sad.
Yeah.
I love Jamie Lee.
Darren Aronofsky wrote the first draft of the script in just 5 days, and when you don't need really story or plot, I'm sure it's a little quicker to write.
So what I'm hearing from you guys, so obviously in terms of a Darren Aronofsky movie, his vision, the uniqueness of this film all was there. It's just so disturbing that it makes it hard to just, you can't just go, wow, that was really amazing.
As a fan of his work, and this is a very personal reaction on my part, I thought this movie went too far. Like I just, and this is someone who I've loved his career. I really enjoy his movies, but this movie turned me off.
Wow.
Wow.
Maybe I'm a child, and I kept like being like, we're putting up with so much. There's gonna be a okay, and there wasn't. Like like the credits started rolling, and I was like, wait. Is Javier Bardem the devil? Like I didn't.
Yeah.
I felt dumb. Like, and I'm Catholic. I'm Irish Catholic.
Yeah.
And I was like, who were the sons? Why were they there fighting? Oh, there was a rib. Why was there like?
Yeah,
There
yeah.
was so much stuff that I like didn't catch.
Because it was all biblical references. The one son
Yeah.
kills the other son. This is a small spoiler, very small spoiler. It's very difficult to spoil this movie because there's not like, oh, I didn't know that was going to happen. It was literally
Yeah.
just from scene to scene what's going on.
I just wanted there were so many things that went unexplained that I've had to like do so much research afterwards that I'm like, what?
Now it's high school. Now it's homework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what research did you do? What did you uncover?
The symbolism, probably. I did the same thing. I went to Wikipedia and these
Yeah.
other sites and say, okay, was this what this meant?
what was the allegory like?
Now, this is one of the rare instances, too, where Aronofsky just did an interview and said, no, here's what everything means. And
But
pretty much.
You know what? He didn't say what one thing meant, and he like got asked about it because it was the thing that I kept, the yellow powder.
Yes.
He has like he's like, oh, ask Jennifer about it, and it's like, well, did you just make something up? Like, why? He's like,
Jennifer, want to put some powder in it?
She has
Yes.
he said she has a better answer, and I'm like, well, what?
Yeah.
Someone tell me what the yellow powder is, because
Yeah.
it's very.
Because whenever she would hallucinate or see things in the house and stuff, then she would go and take a shot of yellow powder mixed in water. Like it was almost like a nerve tonic. This is the way it was kind of used. But at the same time, everything meant something else in the movie, so it had to mean something else. But yeah, that never quite got explained. But it's everything from Bible allegory to the cult of celebrity to just the way things are in
Climate
the world right
change.
now, climate change, like just the way Jennifer Lawrence.
It's a wide.
It's
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a lot.
It's a shotgun approach to many different things,
And so that
leading up to a horrifying climax.
okay. So this is actually the 4th movie he shot on 16 millimeter. Visually, how like is that-
Visually, it looks really good, and it looks it's another thing that he just does really well. When he fills a frame, he creates mood and tension, and everything from The Wrestler to Pie. His first movie. He's just really great at filling a frame and shooting everything to evoke an emotion or a feeling. And this was no exception. Black Swan too. Black Swan was also beautifully shot.
Yes.
So this movie, the other thing about this movie was that the actual performances were excellent.
Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer was.
She was fantastic.
Incredible.
Yeah, and Javier Bardem, Jennifer Lawrence, and even Ed Harris. They all did a fantastic job acting. It's just the whole together was just.
Well, I mean, that's one of his strengths. I mean, obviously, the casting of it is a big part of the director's job. But I feel like
everyone wanted to work with him.
Yeah,
that's
everyone
how he
wants to
got
work
that
with
cast.
And I feel like too, he really knows how to direct actors, especially
For
when
sure.
he's got some crazy
For sure.
shit going down.
Yeah.
Like he
Yes.
usually has.
Mm-hmm.
Like The Wrestler was fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it was grounded, which is
Yeah.
unusual for one of his movies. Even like a movie like The Fountain. Remember that movie?
Mm-hmm.
That was, all over the place too. But visually, it was just so interesting to watch.
All right.
Did he do Noah's Ark as well?
He did Noah.
I believe
He
he
did
did
Noah.
know.
Yeah, the movie
yes.
Noah that came out in 2014. That was
And
with.
So that was
did-
before this.
That was
so
Russell
he's-
Crowe,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it like bombed.
Bomb.
What's so
Bomb.
weird is, for an atheist, he's doing a lot of biblical and Catholic movies.
I think he's like fascinated by
yeah, the
religion.
religion. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So
And
Noah.
generally, if you have a movie like Noah, you probably don't want an atheist directing it.
Well, to talk about the bomb, it had a $125 million budget, and it did $100 million.
So we lost 25 mil.
Well, it's 25 mil. I'm sure it's eventually made it back, but like that was his first sort of big budget
Yeah.
actiony thing.
And isn't it an odd choice? Like,
Yeah.
you're like, well, we're doing a big budget, biblical epic. Get me Darren Aronofsky.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well-
Yeah, it's odd.
if you look at his filmography, it is really. I mean, I guess I give him credit, but I mean, like you look at you look at Requiem for a Dream, you look at the Wrestler, Black Swan, Noah, really. Like there's
All over the map.
all
Yeah.
over the map, which is cool. I dig it when directors are allowed to do that thing. And as we talked about last week with Dave Anthony, Dave made the point of like he is a unique director that should be. I guess even though I didn't see it, I'm glad this movie's made in terms of what we're dealing with from Hollywood and the one blockbuster after another and a lot of movies that aren't that great, so that this guy's allowed to make these kind of out there crazy films.
I would agree with that 99% of the time. This is the 1% of the time a Paramount executive should have said no.
I am like, I wonder if it will end up being nominated for like at least the performances.
It's entirely possible.
I could see Michelle Pfeiffer getting a Best Supporting Actress
Now,
nomination.
I say that tongue in cheek, but the a movie like this getting made with a director and a writer director shooting their own film, I'm still a big supporter of that.
Right.
This one just did not work for me.
It'll be interesting to see because it sounds like even the two of you are a little split on it, but also like not as severe as the reaction at the Venice Film Festival.
Right.
I wonder how like Hollywood and the Academy are they going to split down the line on this?
Yeah.
Right. Mhm.
I feel like Academy voters definitely like honor performance though.
Right.
Yes.
And I also feel like the cinematography was beautiful. Like there's components of it that you're like, I could see that being the best
It may
of
also
the year.
It may also do well at Golden Globes because Hollywood Foreign Press loves these actors and loves these good performances. So
And they
it
like
might be something.
the foreign press loves crazy out there shit too.
Right.
I mean,
right. So
And Jennifer Lawrence is great in it.
she is.
You
There's
feel for her in a way that I've never wanted to like shake someone.
Yeah, she's such a solid actress, and that I know exactly what you're
it's
talking
a
about.
shakeable
because,
performance.
Yeah, no, I
Because-
wanted to like grab her by the shoulders and be like, "Grr!" you
Yeah.
know, like, what are you doing?
Because her character, as the movie begins, is like she feels basically helpless. Like, well, what? You didn't even ask. What are you doing? Like in this marriage that she seems to have no say in.
Right.
Which is, the allegory for like the earth and what we're doing to it. And so there's all that as well.
Or just like a bad husband.
Or a bad husband too. Yeah.
Or just like kind of like a dick.
Don't marry a dick.
Don't marry a writer. and
Yeah.
Don't marry a dick. Those were my takeaways.
So, and he was a poet too.
Oh,
So-
yes. I forgot he was
Yeah,
a poet.
with writer's block at the beginning.
Gosh.
So anyway, this is the kind of movie that it's going to split
How
you
can
right
a poet afford a house that big? That's my question.
Well, it was a fixer-upper.
Oh, all right. Okay.
That
well, also, like,
apparently
did they
she
build
was
it?
doing, Yeah.
There's like weird. There's definitely strange. Like, where's the driveway? They kept being
Right.
like, at one point they like get in a car, and I'm like, where? Where is the car?
And then
I've seen no cars.
And then there was like Crimson Peak moments where like oh this blood just outlined a secret door, things like that. So
all right, that's doable.
I'll tell you, I'm curious to see what you guys think of this movie because it's one of those movies that you're gonna nobody's gonna see this movie going, no, it was okay. It's really, you're gonna go one way or the other on it. It's really
Did you see it, Aaron?
polarizing.
No.
I
didn't like the trailer. I mean, the
Oh.
trailer didn't sell me on this movie
Okay.
at all. I was just like, well, maybe I'll catch that at some point, but I have no desire.
At one point, there was probably, we saw it Friday afternoon, like the day it came out. There were probably 15 people in like a big theater. And we were sitting second to last row. And at one point during a very disturbing point in the movie, which is about 75% of the movie, I like heard a noise and I turned and the man in the back row behind us was standing up. And so then for the rest of the movie I was like, is he gonna kill me? Like I was also going through a lot of like environmental stress. And he like saw me seeing him stand and then like cracked his knuckles and sat down. And I was like, what is happening? So I don't know what he was going through.
That might have been Darren Aronofsky.
Yeah.
So you're saying people in the theater might just be losing their shit,
Yes.
just like what's happening on screen.
This is not a good snacks movie.
Right.
If you get snacks, eat them in the first 20 minutes. Because you are not,
Yeah.
you are not going to
couldn't
want to
agree
eat
more.
anything.
No.
All right, snack early. Hashtag
Yes.
snack early.